Spoilers.
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
You serious?
The whole thing is a flashback to what actually happened with May and Osha and the Four Jedi.
I don't feel satisfied with the story that they gave us. And maybe that's intentional. I think they'll give us some more information, but there's a lot of questions still. Like, why do these Four Jedi feel so guilty? How did the Witch Coven all die? They weren't on fire. There was nothing there. They all just dropped dead. How did this mountain made of stone catch on fire so quickly? How did any of this happen? So there's definitely some forces at play there. And I can't say that I care for the answers, but I am just disappointed that they gave us a flashback and didn't even give us the full story.
Why were the Jedi spying on this coven of Force witches? I don't know what we're supposed to call them. I mean, we already had witches in Star Wars. We had the Night Sisters.
I wouldn't compare them to the Night Sisters. I think it's best not to, and to just walk in with an open mind.
Basically, just watch this and consume. I don't even think the cast knows what the Night Sisters are. I don't even know if Leslie Headland even knows what the Night Sisters are, the Star Wars fan that she supposedly is. This is just another group of witches within the Star Wars timeline that were experimenting with the Force, or the thread, as they called it in this episode. One question I had was, why does Osha want to be a Jedi? That confused me quite a bit in this episode. That felt like more like a plot convenience. This coven doesn't have any connection to the outside world. They just know that they don't want to be a part of it. So why does this child has no connection to the Jedi have this great need to be a Jedi? What did you think about that?
I was very confused about, like, how does she even know what the Jedi are? How does she know all of this if they're so separated from the rest of the galaxy? Of course she wants to be a Jedi, and then she ends up there. After all that, she doesn't even stick as a Jedi. She still leaves. She's just not happy wherever she ends up.
And you're exactly right. There might be a little bit of a lesson there that sometimes the needs and wants of children are just so random, and maybe in the end don't really mean anything. You could also say that about some adults. Things like that happen in their lives.
I want more, and I know I shouldn't.
The Jedi were very confusing to me because there was a line, something like, the Jedi have a right to test the children. I'm like, what? Did all of a sudden the Jedi become CPS, the Child Protective Services of the galaxy?
That whole conversation was confusing because they also said that the Witch Coven's not supposed to be training children. So there's something there for sure. I don't know. It just left me with a bad taste in my mouth, I guess I'll say.
This also makes me question again, going back to Master Torben from episode 2. He's Master Torben now in episode 2. We see him as Padawan Torben in this episode. So you mean to say that you ascended to Master, you felt so guilty about what happened at this point of time, you know, when you were Padawan, and then as soon as May approaches you with this poison, you're like, might as well fuck it all and kill myself. What? You had to work to become a Master.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of Master.
What?
The dialogue is not good in this. Is it the worst thing I've ever seen? I can't really say that. Is it some of the worst Star Wars stuff that I've seen? Yeah, it's probably some of the worst Star Wars that I've seen on Disney+.
I mean, at least things like Boba Fett had interesting characters that you cared about. This, I don't care about the characters. I don't care about what's happening.
I'm really feeling bad for who I'm calling Master Shit Out of Luck, Saul. Lee Jong-jae, he is really trying to make the role something. So I feel bad for him. Nobody else in the show sticks out to me at all except for him. If we could pull a character out of the show and actually do something worthwhile, I think it would be his character.
He is a standout. He has been trying, and I appreciate it. He's the only character I think that yeah, you are a Jedi. This is your story. He's just so sweet. His name's unfortunate, but I do appreciate him being so into this role.
And we get Master Indara making another appearance.
We have unfinished business. Attack me with all your strength.
At least we were spared that in this episode. I think we have to deal with the elephant in the room, which is how these children came to be. Who's the daddy is what we have to deal with here. How did you feel? Because I feel like this is probably the most controversial thing besides the way that the Jedi are treated in the episode. How did you feel about how this was handled? Because I don't think that this was the greatest move for the show, especially with all the animus against Leslie Headland being involved in the project.
Shit the money bed, my friend.
It did take me out of the show. Like, what? Why would they put this in here? And it was so offhanded too. Like, it was mentioned maybe twice, and it wasn't really explained at all. So very confusing. I'm wondering if we'll get any more answers or if they're just gonna leave it vague at that. I'm confused. I just wish that they didn't do it.
Anakin was supposed to be special. He was the chosen one. This does disrupt that for people. I understand the outrage because this was supposed to not really have very much to do with the Skywalkers, but this totally undermines these Skywalkers.
Stay tuned and see what we think. Maybe they will turn it around. Let us know what you thought in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe.
What have you done? What have you done?